brought someone with him. He was nice. It was like, that was kind of fun.
That guy's fucking scary.
He's scary, man. Fucking. Woo! I think he doesn't want to fight. I'm surprised he's number 6 over Derrick Lewis, but
it's in the neighborhood. I mean, him and Derrick Lewis are definitely in the neighborhood. I would give Derrick the nod because Derrick has beat more top 10 competition. He beat Roy Nelson. You know, Derrick just beat Travis Brown by KO.
Badly.
That's a big, big victory for him. Yeah, I would rank Derrick.
Boy, he's fun to listen to.
Derrick's hilarious.
Yeah, he's a fun dude, man.
His fucking Instagram is hilarious.
Yeah.
Some of the shit that he puts on Instagram, you're like, oh my God. Like, this guy's pushing the fucking envelope.
There's something about, I don't know if it's because he did time in jail, but there's just something about it that just those guys are like, ugh, I've seen such a worse part of life. This is just, I can only guess but it seems like there's a different mentality when you go to jail and come out.
What did Derrick do time for?
I don't remember. It was a 3.5 year. We talked to him about it, but I don't know if we got into why he was in jail. It might have been a parole violation for drugs. He was just going down like a road, I think.
3.5 years.
I believe he did 3.5 years, yeah. It's a long time.
He's an interesting guy. He's getting a lot better, man. I mean, he was in the beginning of his career, he was kind of a brawler. And then somewhere around the time when he fought Roy Nelson, I noticed he's putting these combinations together, and he's got crazy endurance.
Yeah.
And then I saw an interview with him where he was talking about the strength and conditioning workouts he's doing now, where he realized, like, look, I got to have a gas tank. Like, he could put it on these dudes and hit them and hurt them, then he'd run out of gas, and he realized he has to have a gas tank. And now that he has that gas tank, you're seeing these incredible performances from him.
Yeah, because most guys can keep you going through a round if they know that you might run out of energy. They can keep you away for enough time to fucking capitalize on that.
Yeah.
Travis Brown, I was surprised that he lost that fight because he was doing really well.
Yeah, Travis had him hurt.
Have you ever seen anybody do? I've never seen anybody hold their stomach and like Derrick Lewis got kicked in the stomach. It's very funny because he said he had to shit.
Yeah.
But he got kicked and he actually turned and ran to. I've never seen anybody actually display like, fuck, I don't want to get hit there again.
Yeah, like I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it. Matt Brown's done it a couple of times. He talked to. It was also Drago, Pete Sell fought Nate Quarry. Is that who it was? I think it was. No, Scott Smith. Scott Hands of Steel Smith. And Drago hurt him to the body, and he moved in for the kill, and Scott knocked him out with one punch. He came rushing in because Scott like grabbed his body, and then as Drago was moving in, Scott knocked him out with one punch, and then like literally fell to the ground himself in agony, holding his side.
It's like one of those Rich Franklin Liddell things, like where like literally if the round just ended, I think he broke his arm and he would have won the fight. You got to look back on that and go, why didn't I just avoid that fucking? I was doing so good.
Well, Chuck just had that crazy style. His style was always kamikaze. It was kill or be killed. Just such a banana style. So fun to watch, but man, you would never teach a fighter that. You know, you would never teach a guy to fight like that. You would teach a guy to fight Mighty Mouse style. You'd never say, hey, fight like Chuck Liddell.
I'd rather watch Chuck fight, even though you watch Mighty Mouse, like the guy is just perfect, But I just like watching somebody throw giant fists and fucking knock people out because that's what I want to be. Like if I could be a guy. In life, it's probably better off to be Mighty Mouse. He's probably a more responsible fellow,
right.
Probably a more polite fellow. But who do I want to be? I would rather be Liddell, just a guy that walks in, he's looking to fuck somebody or knock somebody out. Like that's just a fun guy.
Tattoos on his head, mohawk,
fucking animal,
crazed look in his eye.
Yeah. You look at him and you know what he does for a living. Mighty Mouse might be an accountant. You don't know what he does for a living, but Chuck, you're like, he absolutely has to do this for a living.
Yeah, it's in the neighborhood. He's a scary dude.
He is.
But there's just a lot of those.
He came to the improv. I didn't even know him that well years ago, and Dana brought him into the improv, and he's heckling me. I was on stage being like, I'm like, how do you fucking handle this?
What did you say?
I played with him a little bit because we knew each other casually, but I was like, what are you doing? Liddell is heckling you. There's because you never know how somebody is really going to take... when they're drinking a little, some people have a bad reaction.
Yeah, you don't want a bad reaction.
No, but he was afterwards. We were chatting, and he's such an alpha guy. Like he doesn't even mean to do it. I was talking to him in the hallway, and he comes. His arms are wide. He's like, and he fucking leans in, but he's being lovely. But people walking by are like, what the fuck is happening between? Because it looks like he's putting you down and telling you to putting you in your fucking place.
Yeah,
but he's not. He's just having a fun chat, leaning in with his giant arms. It's a really fun thing to watch. I could see people looking.
They're scared.
They just thought something unpleasant was happening, and I'm like, no. And I'm like just smiling bigger so they know I'm okay. I'm like, ah.
It's like when you see a big dog in the room, people just go, oh, Jesus.
Is
that dog? Is that a friendly dog?
Yeah.
Whose dog is that?
I want to take it, man. I listen to so many guys that do jiu-jitsu, and I want to do it so badly.
Why don't you do it?
Because my cardio is so... But Matt took me down to Henzo's, and I loved it. I walked in, I liked the atmosphere. But I'm too tired. And I know it sounds like such a pussy thing, but I'm like, I have apnea, and I don't sleep, and I'm fucking exhausted all the time.
But you just start doing it, and you'll get better.
Yeah, maybe I will.
Like you're on a certain level in the beginning, and everybody's level is different. If you came in, you were like a world-class gymnast, and you were really good at wrestling in high school, you'd be at a higher level when you started. But everybody starts somewhere, and you just keep getting better. I mean, Bourdain started at 58.
I actually, it's funny. I asked him because I know he started like late. And I'm like, do you like it? He's like, I fucking love it. Like he's addicted to it. So it makes me kind of want to.
He's a weird guy, man. I never would have thought that when I first met him.
The heroin addiction?
Well, the heroin addiction, I think, is indicative of the same thing that's leading him to jiu-jitsu addiction. I think he's just a crazy, impulsive guy. And not in a bad way. I don't. It's not insulting in any way. Because that crazy, impulsive thing, it's also doubles up as passion. Like the way the guy loves food, the way the guy loves culture, the way the guy loves music, the way the guy loves anything.
Yeah.
Man, when he and I, we did this episode of his show a few months ago, and we went pheasant hunting, and we talked jiu-jitsu. Like he fucking loves it so much. We were down in the dirt, like on the ground in Montana, and we're going over positions. Like I was explaining certain parts of this. Like a lot of times when guys are going for the darts, you get stalled up here, but here's another option. And we were going over stuff, and like he was fucking soaking it in, man. There's guys that like kind of like jiu-jitsu, and then there's guys that I start talking to them. I'm like, oh, this guy's balls deep. He's all in.
Well, that's another reason I want to take it, because it's for self-defense reasons, and because I talk about it with. It's like I want to experience it, and there's also so many great people I know that I could ask questions to.
Oh yeah,
it's like almost like when you know all these people who are great at it.
Well, Matt Serra, people don't give that guy the respect he deserves. I don't think people remember, but at one point in time, Matt was one of the best Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competitors in the world.
Yeah,
he beat Jean-Jacques Machado by decision. I mean, it was by decision, but he beat Jean-Jacques when Jean-Jacques was in his prime. When Jean-Jacques had won Abu Dhabi, and Jean-Jacques is submitting everybody, submitted Sakurai, submitted like some of the best guys in the world. Matt Serra was a fucking beast, man.
Yeah.
And he was one of Henzo's first black belts in America, too.
Was he?
Yeah. I mean, he was super respected as a jiu-jitsu competitor before he ever got into the UFC. And, the problem, Matt, in some ways, is kind of cursed with the fact that he has heavy hands. He hits really hard. So Matt wind up, knocking a lot of guys out, like knocked out GSP, knocked out Frank Trigg. But Matt's jiu-jitsu was better than like 99% of the people that have ever competed in MMA.
He loves it so much. Like it's fun when you talk to him, and he talks about he has to roll in them. Like he loves it so much it makes you want to do it.
Well, for him, it's fun. He's strangling people every day.
Yeah, that would be fun.
He's not the nail. He's the fucking hammer.
I would probably be in a much different position. I would probably have a much different feeling about it.
You definitely would at first, but it's just one of those things where the moment you get your first tap out, you'll be so addicted. It's
really?
So fun. Yeah.
But
yeah.
do you immediately start like? And I'm such a fucking complaining, but like I have tendonitis, and like I couldn't work out for a year. I could only do legs and cardio. So I have this terrible.
What was wrong with your?
I had tendonitis, and it was like literally. I think from doing pull-ups or doing the kettlebells wrong. And I literally, my arm was in such pain, I couldn't do anything with my arms for a year. That was when I lost all that weight. I was fucked up. I was like, I'm never going to get fat again. And I went on this Whole30 diet, and I stuck to it for like 8 months.
What's a Whole30 diet?
It was pretty good. It was like, you don't feel like you're eating unhealthy. A lot of egg whites and common sense with carbs. Like you could eat a baked potato and some fruit. Like they didn't say, don't eat this, don't. It was just very strict. Certain nuts, no beans on this shit. And I dropped a ton of weight, and I was doing all cardio, and I'm just afraid of re-injuring my arm and not being able to work out. Like
you can't think like that. If your arm's not hurt, your arm's not hurt. One of the things that happens when you get injured, you start thinking of your body as like a race car. Like you blow a tire, you're like, oh, well, got to get that tire fixed. Like I've had quite a few surgeries and a bunch of injuries that I didn't have to get surgery on. I just had to let them heal up. But you just do. It's so fun that you just you have a different way of looking at your body. You start thinking of your body as like a utensil or a tool, instead of just as your body. I mean, you think of it as your body as well, but like if I break something or hurt something, I'm like, fuck, I gotta fix this thing.
Yeah.
I don't think of it as like, oh my God, I can't do this again, because if I get more tendonitis on this elbow, then my elbow will always be in pain. I don't think like that. I think, how do I fix this thing? Where do I got to go? Who's the doctor? Luckily, I work for the UFC, so I'll talk to Dr. Davidson, and I'll say, hey, man, what can we do about this? Like, what do you recommend? And he'll say, well, he's on the cutting edge. And, excuse me, he's actually part of this team that has started injecting stem cells into discs, which is this radical new procedure where they've been using stem cells to regenerate tissue for a long time. And stem cells work amazing, by the way, on tendinitis.
Really?
Fuck yeah. It heals it up like, it's incredible.
I did cortisone, which I know is not recommended. I only did it once, and someone told me just do it once and you're okay, but don't keep doing it. I did it once, and it actually really helped, and I didn't do anything, and it actually fixed me a little bit.
Well, that's good. Well, it certainly will help take away some of the pain, but it's dangerous because it masks that pain, and then a lot of times guys, like, they injure themselves badly because they don't feel that pain. Like Boss Rutan chewed his fucking knees to pieces because he got cortisone shots in him when they were already damaged and just pushed through it like an animal, you know. But my point is, like, what they're able to do now is they can shoot these stem cells. They take fetal stem cells they get from a woman's placenta after she gives birth. They take, like, a woman who gives birth by cesarean section, they take out the placenta, they extract stem cells from this placenta, and then inject them directly into injuries. You fucking heal. It regenerates tissue, regenerates meniscus, regenerates all these different types of tissue. It can basically form anything that's injured. Soft tissue, muscle, any tendons, anything that's injured, it can regenerate. But they're now doing it on discs, which is crazy because when you have disc degeneration, what happens is your body, through poor posture, exercise, abuse, trauma, whatever, your discs get compressed. They wind up pushing on your nerves, and they usually do what's called a discectomy. They come in, they cut a piece of the disc away. Right. Usually it gets worse, and some people either have to get that disc removed, and then they either get it replaced with an artificial one, like Eddie Bravo got it replaced with an artificial one, or they will actually fuse the bone together, which is very problematic. It puts stress on the upper and the lower portion of the disc. Now what they're going to do is start injecting stem cells directly into the disc, and the disc will regenerate and pump up. So you'll be able to, in theory at least, get your discs back to where they were when you were 18. So
a little injection of stem cells into this right arm.
Fuck yeah, but it's not hurting you now, right?
No, but I notice it when I do certain things. Like it's almost like I feel it like going, hey, like it's just the beginning of it, and I know where it goes.
I would say lift weights.
I do, but I mean not a lot.
Yeah, but I mean you don't have to do a lot, but just lift weights and progressively build it up and listen to it. If you feel pain, put some ice on it. But weight lifting, like it seems counterintuitive, but one of the things that a lot of people have found is that even Olympic lifting, like heavy power lifting, cleans and squats and deadlifts and things along those lines, actually helps joint pain.